Hi there, welcome back to another reading from our memoir in progress here behind the paywall on Substack. You've just given me a new phrase, rapid onset regret. I asked Mum a very simple question, and the explanation that began, and I could feel that we were going to lose the best part of an hour to just answering this question. I said, you have just given me rapid onset regret. I regret asking you a simple question, and the quick way the regret sets in sometimes with you, where for me, in relation to you, where I say, what do you want for lunch? And there's usually a response, but then the response is called into doubt by you, and then we're open to a whole discussion. Rapid onset regret.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's significant.
I asked Mum
given
what she
the
wanted.
circumstances.
I asked Mum if she wanted to go out for lunch earlier today. We got there in the end. We didn't end up going out. We were sort of halfway between going out. We went and got something, brought it home. But I looked at you and I said, do you want to go out for lunch, actually? And Mum said, oh, yes. And I said, great. Where do you want to go? Spiral after that. Into, I don't know. Oh, no, you just go. I'll just be here. No, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. I hadn't said anything. All I said was, do you want to go out for lunch?
In the process of this project, you have pointed out a lot of things, but one is becoming more and more evident to me, because it's never really the person realising that about themselves. Is that I can't answer a simple question. I cannot bring forward either an immediate response or a definite response.
Well, as that relates to the writing, so here we're going to hook back into the reading today. Is that if do you want to go out for lunch becomes a debate, how easy has it been to extract a full, real story from you? Now,
so is that just deferral big time?
Oh God, here's Kingsley.
Oh my
Hello,
word.
buddy. Hi there. He's sooking now. Okay. All right. So, deferral. Who knows? Props. I don't know how much of this I will read, but again, as I say, some little segments here. I leave the convent and start teachers' college in 1975, making the decision to follow in my father's footsteps. I'm 17 years old.
I'm sure about that.
Well, you were decisive there. Okay. Here we go. When I arrive at Teachers College, I experience a great amount of fear and anxiousness. College life seems to be a buzz for some people. When I peer into the common room, I observe the easy relationships playing out between boys and girls. But it has not been since my earliest years in rural schools that I have been in an integrated classroom, and I feel self-conscious around boys. Just like I did at the convent, I locate an out-of-the-way practice room where I can retreat to play piano and avoid the common spaces. You don't like common things. Common rooms, common spaces, commoners. And yet, contrary to my shyness and encouraged forcibly by my mother, I joined the Drama Society in my first year of college. Somehow being involved in performances is safer than it is to engage with others in, quote, real settings. I can get up on stage and recite the Plaint of the Camel, for example, but I cannot enter
The common room.
the common room.
No.
No. So,
No, it wasn't for me.
so, the Drama Society is staging the musical The Wizard of Oz. I bring the same perfectionism I have learned to bring to my appearance and my piano practice and my studies to my role as props manager throughout the production. I feel important. There is a buzz of excitement being backstage at each performance, and I'm energized by my usual need to get things right. I meet a boy, well, a young man, backstage during a run of shows in the college hall. He is part of the support cast and wears black tights, onto which I paint
Oh, boy.
onto which I paint white bones to make his skeleton costume. Though looking back, I cannot recall how skeletons featured in The Wizard of Oz. Perhaps he was a munchkin or flying monkey. He and I have already noticed each other in our music lectures by the time of the musical. He is older than the other students by 2 years, with longish hair and a mustache. He is not the stuff of dreams. He does not have a footballer's perfect tall physique. Yet nonetheless, there is something here. His presence conveys enough of the bohemian to hold my interest, and so between shows I find myself thinking about him. After the run of shows, there is an after party for the cast and crew. Here the bohemian and I pair off. While I am attracted to him and feel comfortable with him, my studiousness precludes me from getting too involved. But this changes when he triggers a conversation with a classmate of mine, questioning my ability to commit. When this is relayed to me, I immediately question myself, and by year's end, we are a couple. Decades later, I will think back on this moment and wonder if it wasn't perfectly manufactured. If he didn't know all along which buttons of mine to press in order to force my hand, if he wasn't always pulling the strings. The bohemian is an only child too. His parents are significantly older. They have adopted him later in life after the death of their first and only child. With him, I experience the safety of coupledom. I don't have to engage at college with the dating world and other men. Navigating the common room is easier as a pair rather than as an individual. The bohemian is repeating his first year of teachers' college, just as he repeated Form 6. His academic failure does not sit well with me, but as we are now a couple, I fall quickly into the role of helpmate, and my academic endeavours are for two. I consider that, in a way, I am not yet finished with my role as props manager, and begin to experience an underlying frustration with this situation that bubbles away inside me. I feel like this is not the way things are meant to be, yet I cannot articulate the problem. Soon, however, I discover that I can be both a girlfriend and a studious person. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And I take pride in picking him up in terms of his academic performance. I decide that this is just how it goes, that a relationship is partly a trade, but that it is also about support. If I can help prop him up in this way, then he can help prop me up as I navigate college life.
Wow.
Wow.
I think that encapsulates those events perfectly.
You're pleased with your own writing there. Is that right?
Yeah. It probably scoots over the top of a lot of issues, like a veneer.
Scoots over them, do you think? What do you mean by that?
Is it being too general?
No, I don't think so. I think that in being general, you managed to say something very specific.
Actually, yes.
You know.
That there's not a lot involved here.
Yeah. I think that, trying to fill it with a complexity is wrong, because I think the discovery so far has been that there wasn't complexity. That it appeared complex in retrospect because of the intense trauma and the intense feeling and the intense animosity. But that actually it was really not complicated. It was really, really simple. The reaction was also, well, I was going to say the reaction was complicated. The reaction wasn't complicated either. The reaction was just immense.
Over the top.
Well, we'll let readers decide.
So they're two outliers, aren't they?
Who's that? The Deborah and the Bohemian.
Yeah.
The Deborah and the Bohemian.
Yeah.
There's a title.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's quite clear when you treat people, including ourselves, or yourself, as a character, then you really start getting to who that person is. I mean, it's funny. Drilling down further into the complexity and the minutiae actually doesn't get to the truth. It's sort of widening the lens. I mean, you've got to drill down first, right?
Sure.
But it's widening the lens and sort of, you know, as I say, giving yourself treatment as a character. I mean, what you've got is you've got somebody who's avoidant and somebody who's sort of failing, you know, and they come together.
Yes, so they're outside of the norm.
Yeah, an overly studious person and a non-studious person. Yeah, they're at different ends, but they're not in the middle of the bell curve.
No.
Socially, culturally.
Socially. Yeah. And he'd already cultivated other outliers as friends.
Yeah. Is that true? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. But I think what's really hard to do, and sort of to stay on like writing practice, is that it is very difficult to treat yourself as a character. To be, I mean, it's impossible to be objective about yourself. Like, you're always, but you've got to try to be as objective as possible. And it's very hard to reduce yourself to just being an avoidant person. But that is the character. That's the
right.
character.
That's right.
It's not you, because you are you now. But that character at that point in time that's who that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the hardship of memoir is, and I think this is why a lot of people don't write personally, particularly personally, is that, you know, it's painful. Nobody wants to reduce themselves to anything, let alone something.
Yeah, and because time moves on and you know, perspectives change and hindsight kicks in, it's then difficult to view that early character.
Yeah, to gain access to that past self.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an immense amount of work to get access back to that past self. I mean, what we've had to go through to get it is incredible. Which, you know, makes you think that this is something that you probably shouldn't do.
No, I think certain people have to do it to actually make sense of things.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's also, go on.
Yeah, otherwise it's just left as a peculiar story.
Well, I think that there is a great deal of freedom that comes from being able to reduce yourself to a character in the past. Like, as in, it does make sense of things to be more general and simplistic, because you want to defend yourself. Like, you want to defend yourself by saying, well, there was a bit more to it than that, a bit more this, a bit more that. But, like, actually letting go of that and saying, oh, I was a really avoidant person, that's why that happened. It's like, oh, I get it. That is understanding.
Well, That is true, and it's nothing more or nothing less, really.
Yeah. It's okay, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that that's your path, not just to understanding, but to forgiveness. Oh, I was an exceptionally avoidant person. That's my character. That's who I was. That's why that happened. Oh, okay, I get that.
That's why I got involved, and that's why I went down a certain path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's taken me the same amount of time. It's been the same struggle for me to get to that place too, because your interior self is convoluted. It's a house of mirrors and all that sort of stuff, and you're, but then I felt this, but there was more to it than that. But when you get out of that, and that's actually why I like therapy so much, because sort of not psychoanalyzing yourself to death in a kind of reductive way, but like actually getting perspective on, hey, you came from a broken home, let's say, your parents got divorced, you had this absent father, you were wounded, you went looking for a dad in the world, that's why you met so-and-so, and that made you susceptible to that.
Yeah.
As an example, that's not my story necessarily. But like, you go, oh, right,
yes,
okay.
Of course.
Because you aren't you. You're just a thing. There's so many people. You can't possibly think you're an individual. You don't exist. There is no self. And we live in a culture where, and this I think is where all this judgment and bullshit comes from, is that everybody thinks that they are so much more than what they are.
Yes.
I am a self and I stand for this and I stand for that. And it's like, you're not. You're an insect. I mean, you are one of literally billions. And, like a little rat in a maze, going for the cheese, you're going to do this and this and this. And when you get that objectivity, when you come back, it's like, oh, okay. To me, that's freeing. I think a lot of people don't want to experience that because they need to be inside this important self.
They don't want to see the ordinary, in fact, or the predictable.
I think so. I think it's a sort of like a fear thing. It's like it's much easier to wake up and think, I am so and so. This is my name. I live at this address. I work this job. It all matters. The truth is, none of it matters. You could have been named anything. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And I think once you can let go of that, and for the purposes of writing, let go of all that self, and you're going to get towards some truth there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you still think that you matter, you can't possibly have empathy. Because everything about you is specific to you. You would never make that choice. You would never make a mistake like that. You would never.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's people like that who do. It's people like this.
Yes. So in order to set yourself apart, you really lose any kind of perspective or understanding of what actually happens to people.
Yeah. The fact of the matter is that you would be anything were you born in any other circumstance.
Yeah.
There is nothing innate or inherent about you. Just isn't. So if you were an avoidant person and you got married for no reason and you deferred and whatever, that isn't... You don't have to go on blaming yourself and judging yourself for that. You can accept that happened because that's the character, and be okay with that.
Yeah.
Does any of that make sense?
I see that. Yeah, absolutely. So, in that sense, I mean, that passage is...
I love that passage.
Is correct.
I think that passage is really true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the thing that happened. And it doesn't need to be the minutiae of the day-to-day or the whatever, because it's all so ordinary.
Yeah.
It's just ordinary.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
And that's what's so confronting about writing this way. But in my mind, it's also what is so fucking freeing about it. Is just letting go of self.
Well, you're letting go of the judgment then too.
Yeah.
It's what it was. Yeah. Yeah.
It surprises me not in the least that we're living through a culture and we're in a society that is obsessed with the individual, obsessed with self, that has become rampantly pious and judgmental.
Yes, absolutely.
And like critical of others.
Because you're not seeing, we're not able to see the paths that people are just on.
Yeah, they're just on that path.
They're just on them. Yeah.
See, I'm someone, and this is where I kind of get in trouble, so I don't really voice this, but because this is behind the paywall, it's okay. When something terrible happens, a crime is committed or whatever, I feel nothing, because I'm like, yeah, that person committed that crime. That everything led to that. That person's path and the path of the victim, and it's sad on a one-to-one level. Like if you know the victim,
yes,
it's sad. But like,
are you saying there's an inevitability about it?
Well, not inevitability, but the hand-wringing of like, this should never happen. It's like, no, that happens. That happens.
I think,
it's all within the bounds of what happens, because it did happen.
We've got an interesting stance now that we're going to stamp everything that's not good. Not only not nice, not right, not good. We're going to stamp it out.
Yeah.
It actually just goes against human nature.
And this is what I mean about when it comes to us, like your mistakes. They're not mistakes. They're your actions that you made that happened. Yeah. They happened.
Yeah. In a given time, at a given place.
Yeah. It's all within the bounds of everything. It's all fine.
Yeah.
It's all fine. It doesn't excuse the horrible things. It doesn't mean that when somebody's victimized, you feel like, I said I feel nothing. I don't mean nothing like one-to-one.
Yeah.
A tragedy is still a tragedy. But what I'm saying is, I don't experience shock psychologically.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm trying to say.
I think that's the thing, but that's very difficult to. You've encapsulated it pretty well. It's very difficult to discuss this because it's a real wringing hands culture.
There is a wringing hands, and there is the how could this happen? How could? I'm like, why are you wrestling with it psychologically? It happened. Oh, those things happen.
And, the same people who are doing that, it's like they're not part of the world. I mean, they're in families.
Yeah.
They're in families where so-and-so has made a mistake or that sad event happened. They're in workplaces with other people, other experiences. Oh, well, maybe not so much these days. But, yeah, I don't know how we've got to that.
We're alienating. I think I talked about this in the last reading episode, was that I'm saying that we are alienating ourselves. We are driving things that happen out into this realm that's disconnected from human nature. That, oh my God, how, wow, what? And it's like, no. It's all in the bounds of things that occur in the world, right? You've got to stop being so shocked. It doesn't mean that you can't have compassion and feel for somebody for whom, life has had like a negative impact. But what I'm talking about is the intellectual, psychological shock of that can't happen, that shouldn't happen, and we can live in a place that, is without any pain or whatever. It's like just allow the full spectrum of humanness and experience and ordinariness, allow that to speak too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And what I like about that passage is there isn't the attempt to elevate it, nor to corral it, nor to... And that is where I've been trying to get your writing, is like, just let it be what it was.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're an avoidant person who met a loser. Like, who cares? I mean,
right.
It sucks.
That's right.
There's been consequences, but that's the truth of it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Just move it along. Move
Yeah.
the writing along.
Yeah.
Don't stop and try to explain. It's not complicated, but it's not good or bad either.
No.
It's not complicated, and it's not good or bad either. I think that I hope what just happened, whatever the fuck just happened, the last 20 minutes, made some kind of sense. Thanks very much for signing up. Hope you're still enjoying these reading episodes. There'll be another one in 2 weeks' time. And I think that will be, if not the second last reading of the year before we take our break. So stay tuned. Keep watching the space. Bye.